Mm-hmm.
I hit it.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to content class. I'm
Marketing.
Jess.
And I'm Julie. Together we're
Together
socially
we are
inclined.
socially adorable.
Oh,
Um, this morning we're doing a topic. It's kind of like an Ask Me Anything because we want everyone to chime in on what they're stuck with. But we're going to talk through ways to get unstuck.
stuck.
Yeah. How to get unstuck.
And what's the reason we get stuck is for me and probably for most people is overwhelm. Because if you are a small business side hustle, it doesn't matter, whatever. If you're doing something, business wise, they're especially in the marketing and trying to get sales and traffic and all those things, it is very overwhelming as to the number of things that you can do and need to do, not just can do, need to do to move the needle in your business. And then, you just get like either analysis paralysis, or it's like, it's all bad and I'm not going to do any of it. Like I need a break today or whatever. So anyway, we're going to kind of tackle what you need to do.
Yeah, because you have this never-ending to-do list, and for me, it's like the end of the month is always the craziest, right? Because we have to get everything out for our memberships. We're also just turning around everything, and then you hit the beginning of the month, and there's things you should be doing. You still have this like massive, urgent, do it right now list, but like Heather said, then whenever it gets the pressure's off a little bit, it's easy to, I don't like the term lazy because I don't think anyone is lazy. I think you just get kind of like overwhelmed and burned out. So you kind of like take this little reprieve because you can.
Exactly. Or it's a reward for doing the thing, and don't call that lazy, call that self-care, giving yourself grace to enjoy. I mean, why do we work, right? We work to enjoy life. So we don't have to be necessarily lazy. So
Sorry.
is complacent. It's okay. Kids. Don't text them. It's fine. They know. They know. They know they're being loud. It's okay. Jessica whoops up the phone. She's going to tell them, shush. Let's see. Jen says, I don't always know where to start with my to-do list. I heard you could put numbers 1, 2, or 3 to organize priorities. Yeah, the 1, 2, 3 ABC Franklin Planner. I don't know if they started that, but anyway, back in the paper planning days, that was a big deal. Any strategies to use? Do either of you use Trello? Oops, I lost my thing. Trello or something similar to keep keep up with a huge to-do list. We've tried lots of things. I love hearing the kids. We're all moms. Exactly.
I don't. Especially when they're getting in trouble, like he should just take them downstairs like he normally does. But yeah, he's got his methods.
All right, I'm gonna come back to you in just a second because John, he says, "Get Julie to give you a month off where you work the month and come back, and then you'll be a month ahead."
Nice.
Just double work on that month and then say, I mean, like that. I always used to think that the people that worked, I still think this, sorry, but either 7 on, 7 off, that's like a beautiful thing, or 4 on, 3 off, whatever, where you've got more time off so that you can actually decompress. I would work a 12-hour day to be off, more time. Now, I just work a 16-hour day, like every day. So, but that's what happens when we have our own business, right? Because we have this terrible boss that is like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. So anyway, all right. Well, it's good to see you here, John. Hopefully you are not stuck on your book and you're still writing it.
Oh, Jen said, I thought about this earlier, Julie. I think I mentioned it when we were pre-gaming, but I don't always know where to start with my to-do list. I heard you could put numbers 1, 2, and 3 to organize and prioritize. Any strategies you use? Do either of you use Trello or something similar to keep up with a huge to-do list? So, my priority list is usually when it's due, is it paid for, and then will it pay for itself in the future in that order. So I usually, and I have to be very time sensitive to things because I oversee all the YSP content and socially sweet and all of that. So all of that's due 2 months ahead at the beginning of each month. So we're coming up on July, right? So I always prioritize that. And then if someone's paid for something like Jen's blog or our attorneys who have paid for content or marketing content in some way, that is non-negotiable. So like I don't stop for the day if it's due on that day. I try not to push it to the day that it's due, but if for some reason it gets pushed, you just don't stop until it's done. And then when you have other working hours that happen to not be filled, gosh, I have like, oh, it would be great to put out 16 social posts about all these June blogs we did. It would be great to go back and cross link blogs for, all of our clients that we've done blogs for in the past, because that'll help. Not to mention us, because that's kind of what we rely on since Facebook ads have become so difficult now, in SEO, trying to boost the SEO by doing the backlinks and things like that. So it is a never ending list. And for you, Jen, it's probably the same. Like as soon as you get an order, the first thing, someone has paid you money, you want to make sure that you fulfill that. And then after that, what is due? What is time sensitive? Is there someone waiting for you? Is just waiting for your feedback on your blog or your social posts. I'm not calling you out or anything because we haven't had to wait on you for that. And then after that, what things are going to help move the needle? Like, is there like some linking that you can do in your blog, or is there some social posts that you could create yourself? Or, what are your other things? Can you put out feelers for who else you're going to sell for in your area? That kind of stuff.
Heather says
Hopefully
she
that was
uses
clear.
the bullet journal. I love the Kanban feature of Trello. And that's why I love tabs. So if anybody's been here long enough, they know I've got 97 tabs open. It's because I am visual. I'm scared I'm going to forget something. So I have to have that visual reminder. What happens in all of these, and what you have to be careful with, what I stress to my son so much, because he's in business too, is that he can tend to spend 90% in planning and 10% in execution. And it needs to be the opposite. So I have a brain dump every however often, and I try to keep adding to my list. And I do this in a myriad of ways. Like sometimes I have an open email that's just a brain dump. It's like literally an email going to send to myself or whatever. But we've tried like productivity, like all of these things. So just having and Jess always goes back to paper. So it's whatever, you have to identify what works for you. And again, the problem is that when you have it all written out and you keep thinking about, oh, I need to do this and I need to do this, it makes that list so overwhelming that then you want to go sit on the couch and be lazy, right? That we talked about earlier. So you need to have a long-term list that you can brain dump, but to me, you really don't need to look at it. Like if you don't have time to execute on those things, like you have to do the things that are the urgent, the things that Jessica just talked about. And as business owners, we need to schedule 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you can devote to money making activities. So whatever will move the needle right now, because obviously we're all in it. We need money coming in to be able to continue to own the business, do the thing. So that does need to be something that you consciously set, okay, I'm going to, whether it's making a sales call, sending an email, something that is actively trying to get business every single day. Now, I don't feel like I make it every single day. I definitely don't, because we get in those urgent things that Jessica talked about.
Yeah, she gets stuck on number one. Sorry, Jen outlined this really well. Thank you. This is great. If it's been paid for, if it's bringing in money, bringing is the key there. So if it's been paid for or if it's bringing in money, then that's number one. That's what we try to prioritize. Number two, what's time sensitive and gonna have to be done by a certain date. And then lastly, and that's the sales calls, the finding stores to put your products in, finding wholesalers for your tea. Those number three, those are the things that are going to really increase your revenue over time. And unfortunately, those are also the things that are the hardest to get to when you are so snowed under.
Right. And there's such a fine line, because what if you have more paid for things than you have hours in this day, right? So then money making things don't happen that day. And that's where salespeople or businesses, whatever, get in. Hear all the time a feast or famine cycle that you get into. It's like you've got all this work to do, and then you're trying to get it, and you get it, and it's like, now I have no work. And it's because you didn't do the money making activities along the way. So whatever has to happen, if the customer has to be called and said, hey, your timeline is an extra day or whatever, most of the time people, are forgiving. We really don't run into that a lot. Just because I'll add on extra hours to make sure it doesn't happen. But that's not really sustainable for most people. And you don't want to be a slave to your business. So you do need to set like working hours, because the reason we're supposed to work is for joy of outside of work, right? I mean, we can have joy in our work.
A
I'm very
means to an end.
But yeah, you need to have some balance instead of just work, work, work. Right?
So Heather did a bullet journal for years in the pandemic, and then nothing was going on, and she needs to get back to it. 14 orders went out yesterday. Today, not one order yet.
Like shipped or coming in? Probably shipped, I would say. And then while we're waiting on that, John says, thanks for asking about the book. Finished it and it's published. John, that's awesome. I work under a pseudonym, so I don't promote myself. It's just a busy take on that. Even the question, LOL. Writing is a release for me, and I don't want to make it work. Did you publish your book yet? I have.
I can ask next week.
Yeah. So one will go in the next, and it's a side journey, whatever, something that just happened. I don't know. It's a release for me as well. So, and then the other is a bigger, and like kind of what we're talking about. It's like all the things. So I'm delaying it because there's so many things that I'd like to have in place before doing it. So that's where we can get stuck, right? It's like, I'd like for this all to be nice and tidy before I like set this publishing. And this is, one's fiction and one is like emotional, whatever.
But done is better than perfect.
I agree. We talk about that all the time. That's my saying. Done is better than perfect. So it is. I'll be calling them done soon.
Oh yeah. Don't even. I got videos out for my cruise stuff, and then I haven't done anything with it in 2 or 3 months. Now, we had a lot we were facing. The server went down, among other things. So
yep, lots of things. Hey, I did win. Marcy, have you? I recorded Reels or TikToks Monday. I just took a block, and this is kind of like, and it's for, sorry, Jess, it's not for social, it's for book.
Right. That's all she talks about is how we need to do TikToks.
I know. Well, I had to get in the mode for it. I had to get in the mode for it. So yes, I'm here for it now. I'll just need to start. And that's another thing. It's like, where do you start? Like, where do you start? What is the first reel or social post? And it's like, then you've got all this hang up about like, do you just start in the middle? Do you try to, I don't know. I get it. People get stuck. So
Heather said, "Don't forget my graphics." Yeah, I looked at them.
Oh, pull them up so
They're
everyone
good.
else. Yes, no, we're going to show them. I thought you were going to pull them up, just screen share.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Sure.
John says, no guilt. It's one day at a time. Yes, it is. And I tend, so that's another thing that this brings up a point is that you have to know your tendencies. Ugh, I have some tendencies, and I'm sure everyone else does too. Oh, some tendencies to
Not me. I'm perfect.
make things big and grand and like I want it to be the best it can be. And then I'll delay, just like I said, I'll delay because there's like this one more thing I'd like to get before it goes live. So know, so to help with your list, know what you procrastinate on or what the problem is. And like if there's something that you consistently procrastinate with, move it to the top of the list and eat the frog, as Jessica says.
But I don't get paid for
That's right.
saying that. I wish I did. Ah, it'd be so nice.
Wouldn't it?
All right,
Okay.
so this one is the one that came out of Canva, and this is the one she edited it.
We're not seeing your screen.
Why? I'm sharing it.
We're not seeing it.
Oh, whoops.
Here it comes.
Okay.
Okay, so last week we had Canva class, and we kind of showed how to make a set of content,
Branded templates.
so that you can use and reuse.
Mhm.
And so we shared. Heather was here, so we just grabbed onto her industry. So if you're here on replay and you can ever get here live, this is an example of knowing your industry and like us helping with that. So go back to the one that was in Canva.
Mhm. And then I think she decided that she used Brittany font
Yes,
and a different green.
exactly. So, and
They're
before,
pretty close though.
yeah, well, I think we had, maybe we didn't change that one a lot. That one might have just come from, but it wasn't, did it have all the things on it? But anyway, what we had done, so you did a good job. The main thing is, did you post it?
You're
Say
right.
yes. Say yes. Did you write a caption to go with it? And did you post it? Say yes.
Yes.
Oh, she
She
changed
did.
the spoon. I see. Yes.
Yeah, she changed the T in the center.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, Marcy says, yes, thank you for fixing my socially sweet account. Yes, because golly, you don't
Yeah.
realize how much you rely on automation until something goes awry.
Mhm.
And then all of the other things that it causes. So yeah, and that's another thing that happens in business all the time is, you've got everything working smoothly until it's not. And then when that one thing goes wrong, it creates another 100 things that back everything up. So and if I can tend to be a procrastinator.
Yeah, our server went down what, May 5th?
Yes.
And I feel like we're still
Having
just
some
dealing.
issues.
Yeah,
Or
still dealing with the ramifications.
exactly. And it was like 20 days later, 23 days
Mhm.
later. It's just like people messaging in to say, hey, my things are paused. I was like, well, we've sent,
Duh,
emails, and
we
it's
knew
like,
that.
yeah. So short of going in and like manually unpausing everyone's stuff. Yeah. Anyway, which is very time consuming. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, things come up. And yeah. So, but good job. Heather says she is scheduled for June, which is great. So that that's one thing we talk about all the time too, is like, if you can get ahead, like of your social and posting and those things, it takes so much less time on your to-do list than doing it one at a time. So right now, my son is sort of at the one at a time on his social, and then days get skipped. And, it's like we've got to get into batching mode. Batching.
Hmm.
So,
All right. What else are we stuck with? Anybody? Anybody?
yeah. Marcy, how about you? How's everything going on social besides the fact that it's going again, automated? This is this is busy season for like weddings, but how much ahead of time, Like, so because it's busy season for weddings, and if you don't know Marcy, she does stationary invitations. So does that mean this is less busy for you because they should have already had their invitations by now?
Yeah, I would imagine earlier in the year is more busy, but I don't know.
Exactly. And also budgeting for, like, we've done tons of talks on goal planning and things like that, and budgeting out like for your year. But this brings up a point for like Marcy. If this is her slow time and she were planning previously, like this is the time, like feast or famine, right? So this is to be working on the next season of, what, of getting more work, right? Doing all the things. And if you're not like all the things, like if you're not sure what all the things are, you can always go ask ChatGPT. Look at what, overhaul your tell it to be an expert marketer, and look at your site. What are your shortcomings? Like, you literally, it will analyze it and it will tell you, hey, you could try this. And those are executable items that you can do in a very short amount of time. If it's on your website and you have a header, and that header is not speaking immediately to the person, and ChatGPT says, hey, you could change it to this, you could literally change that in 5 to 10 minutes and test it for a week or two, and then come back to ChatGPT later and just be like, hey, now do it. And like, what does it say now? And sort of split test and decide, how to do. But small things like that don't take a lot of time can be added into your day.
For sure.
Marcy says, too hot in Florida, but I have clients over. Yes, USA. Yes. Gear up over summer for seasons to start at the end of August. Okay. We're opposite the Northeast. Summer is brutal here. Yes, it is. So many, especially where she is. She's in South Florida. So many wait for the end of summer till spring for weddings. Yes.
Yeah, the end of summer, just so that a big Cat 5 can roll up in uninvited to your guest party.
For sure. Hello. So, and John said he is basically writing under a pen name. But are you still doing your own marketing for that under the pen name? Like, there's tons and tons of authors to do that. So I hope you're also, putting it out there. But honestly, congratulations. So many people. I mean, honesty, like, congratulations, because so many people start and never finish. So my son's is going well. You can always do more. He's halfway through drafting book 2.
That's the hard part, is you can always do more. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
So you have to celebrate the wins along the way, because that feeling of shortcoming all the time is terrible. So don't do that.
Yep. I mean, it really doesn't matter what you're in, whether you're a small business or you teach kindergartners, you could always do more. So you just have to bless and release.
Oh, that's awesome. John said it was on his list and he's compulsive about finishing that list. Exactly. So to circle back, and sort of a great point about this whole thing is your list needs to be the things that you must do. And if it's on the list, you must do it, right? Get it done. Get it done. Okay. So if your list is like too overwhelming, you won't, right? And it's always that feeling of crap. So Jessica's really good at that. Hold your list up again. Like, there's 5 things on it. I don't know.
Whoa. There's at least 16.
Oh, I can't see. I can only see the big things. Okay. But look at all the little, see, doesn't the endorphins that releases to scratch that off? That's awesome.
Yep.
I
actually need to scratch some of that off and add some more stuff.
Yeah. But that's awesome. So I didn't mean that she only had 5 things to do. I think everyone here knows that is definitely not the case.
That's my priority list. That's my you got to do it now.
Right.
So.
And I would say that Jessica's probably one of the best.
It's from yesterday too. I haven't.
One of the best at doing that. Mine tends to be too long. And going back to the 1, 2, 3, so Franklin Planner, and I don't know if they've been around forever, so I don't know if they came up with it and if it has a name, but it's a 1, 2, 3 ABC priority list. So you've got ones, so you can have a 1 and then a 1A, 1B, 1C, and then you can have a 2, and then you work at them. And the ones go back to what we identified earlier, are that Jen wrote down for us, but basically, it's like the things that must get done, and then, but you do need to work in those money makers. Oh, she was showing, sorry,
Can you
Jen.
not
She
see
was
me?
showing
You
it
can't
in the
see me.
window. We're not big. I realized we're not big. She's in the little window up there.
Oh,
And you may be not see, if you're on the phone, I don't know if they see us on the phone when it's just that welcome to content class. I need to pull us up and look. I don't remember. So we need to, I
sorry.
hate this, it's just too big. There's the list. Although it blew out. We didn't see any of it. It looked blank. There you go.
I'm only gonna let you read it because I don't want you to know. Some of it's proprietary. No, not proprietary.
Not proprietary, but it's the
No.
month. Oh, anyway, but yeah. So,
But I
anything
do.
else?
So that's not all I have to do. That if I like, okay, I marked all of that off, then obviously we have a backlog of stuff that is just never ending. But if I focus on that the way Julie does, then I would just sit there and like
Right, and that's my point. Is like you
suck
can't
wind.
have that. You can't have all of that other stuff that still needs to be done. Can be on that priority list. So that's why, like, if you did the 1A, B, C, that gives you 9 things. Most people can't tackle 3 in a day. It depends on how big the tasks are. So if you tried the 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, and each of those were in the 3 categories we said, that might be a good mix, to tackling and being productive and making some money, keeping sales, not feast or famine. So I need to try that personally.
Yeah. I also don't have to really break it down anymore. Like if I wrote out everything that was required to bring July YSP to life, there would be 25 things there.
Right.
But instead, I've just been doing it so long that it's like first things first, second things second.
Right. Yeah. Just
You
because
just like
one thing doesn't
roll
mean,
with it.
yeah, that one task takes hours and hours and hours. So
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, anybody else stuck with, like, literally, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be a little bitty thing. It can be anything. Are you stuck with, anything?
I was just thinking about her saying, "What if we're stuck in life?" Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it
Ask
just
ChatGPT to be your therapist.
tend to get in your own head because, yeah.
Marcy says she remembers the Franklin Planner. Man, if you were in business as long as I've been in business, that you had to have one. Like, it was the thing,
For sure.
And I was a
I don't really remember that,
paper
but
planner, by the way. I still like a paper planner. I still like paper.
so I struggle with that. I bought a few, but then like I'd miss 25 days or something because I'd just go back
It
to
makes
like
you feel bad.
writing
Right.
on a Sam's Club.
Yep. That's why a bullet
notepad.
journal or blanks, daily bullet journal style. That's what I used to always gravitate to. Now mine is just my tabs or my email, like where I just brain dump. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I hadn't seen Julie in ages, but I do remember her notebooks. She had notebooks of like, oh, these notes were from it's like the last 4 years of
especially, yeah, I still have like
anxiety.
your social plan, like 2009, your social planning, um, execution, whatever.
Mhm.
I still have those, by the way. That's a big one.
I'm sure you do.
Strive 365. That's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Oh well, can't do it all. Yeah, you can get the
Decorating.
decorated ones, yeah. And now on Etsy, like, people sell them all the time, and you can just get so what I would like in them is a pad. Like, I should just go and have one bound and make one. In Canva, we can make anything we want. And we had, planners that we made that were, like I had, like, some fancy little whatever. But anyway, I like the ones that tear off like Jessica's little thing, like, they're glued at the top. I want them to be about this size, so I just need to make one and just start using it every single day. The
Marcy's
accomplishment
working on one to sell.
yeah, I'll be posting it on Amazon before long.
Mhm.
Here you go. No, but the accomplishment of when you have it written down like that, instead of just the cycle of what did I get done today, being able to look at that and feel good about, getting off at a decent time and be like, I got all this done. Yes, I'm going to have a good night. You know, I mean, really, the psychology of it all is what I just didn't used to look at. It's just like motor through, hustle culture.
I mean, I get that.
Marcy's working on one to sell. Awesome, Marcy. I want to see it.
Jen says, I like to look at what I did and it fuels me for what I have yet to do. Yeah.
For sure. That's that motivation thing. No
Action.
one.
When you're unmotivated, you got to do something.
Exactly.
Which is hard because sometimes, it's hard to do something because you're tired and you're not motivated.
At all.
So.
But the little release, the dopamine release that you get from doing the thing helps push you through to like do another thing.
For sure.
Yes, more people are going back to basics. I agree.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. Like our culture, and I'm not saying everybody on here is American, but Western, maybe even just Western culture is so like do and don't rest and like glorifies the
hustle culture.
No time off. Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard to kind of shake that feeling.
Hey, Tony, we're glad that you were able to join us. It'll be on replay. So,
yeah.
And we love to have you back on the next one. I'm glad you said hello.
Yeah. And if you have topic requests for the next one, drop them and I will make note of them and we will cover one.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of different things today and just like trying to go with something we haven't talked about in quite a while. And we're in the middle, like we're coming up on like mid-year, like so people get into a slump. It's also summer. So we didn't even lead with this, but it's like summer. So a lot of people sort of get into vacation mode and can get lax. And that's a good thing. But if you know like what you're supposed to be doing and sort of execute on that, you can feel good about taking that time off for sure. Because everybody needs downtime. For sure.
Especially Julie.
I just replaced my downtime with something else. Although my watch, right? So this is when I realized I know when I'm doing something that is like my watch, I'm in high stress all the time. My little watch tracks all the time and I'm way up here all the time. But if I'm writing, he's in the low. And I'm like, I need to do more of this. And it can
she's
be
counting baby cows at her farm.
Oh yeah. I needed to have shown that. I wonder if I can. Baby cows born this week. But topics for next week. I would love if anybody has any ideas, please drop them. Like literally, we may or may not do them. But if you'll drop them, we will at least have something to consider.
Yeah, someone requested sheets in Canva last week, and we chose not to do it today. There's baby cows.
Baby cows, 1, 2, 3 babies. So that we're just born.
Just because we didn't feel like it merited a whole class, but we may show it sometime.
Right. When we do another Canva class, we can come back and show. But Canva, sheets in Canva is just like Google Sheets or Excel. You can do it now. And so Jen says, slow down and do something. relaxing. That's why I would put up an above ground pool. I love it. So I can't do laundry or computer stuff. Just relax a few minutes. Exactly. That's
And
sort of
Heather
like
is attending an event at Capitol Hill in DC next week. So I think that's awesome. Advocating for women-owned businesses. Yay.
perfect.
You are excused from joining us next week.
That's right.
Excuse accepted.
And Jen and her pool, like that can be your reward for doing the thing. Or like what we talked about, I can't remember if it was like before we hit record or not, but the crazy hack, it's like, okay, if I get this done fast, then I can go get the reward for doing it. So
sometimes
awesome.
I work better like that too. Like it's getting pool season and my kids love to go to our neighbor's pool. So I'll just knock out.
Which requires like more, like you have to physically leave to go do that thing. So it's like you can't just be on. So you have to work really fast to do the thing. So I like getting into a hustle mode of try to knock this out. It's like a brain thing. It's like set a timer to be like, it's an hour task, but I'm going to get it done in 30 minutes. So then you're like racing yourself and can you get it done? It's like, yeah. Anyway, I have to get
Yes, you
creative.
can.
I have to get creative on some of those things. So it's the 3-hour tasks that keg me up because I don't feel like I have 3 hours to devote to it. And I can't figure out how to set it for 3 1-hour sessions. So anyway, all right. So next week, did anybody list anything?
No.
You cannot leave
John
until
said that he got something out of the whiteboard discussion. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Yeah. I love the like infinity of that. That's not even a word, but whatever. Infinity of it.
Jen says she's competitive. I should set time frames and try to beat it. That's the
That's
only way I get
too.
anything done. My least productive days are when I'm like, I have all day to finish July
done.
YSP.
Right.
I'm just saying July YSP because that's like,
A
that's
big
what's coming
thing.
up. It could be anything. I have all day to write
Yeah,
these
I
2
blocked
blog
off
posts.
today to do this. And
Yeah.
you know,
But
I
really,
never live in that zone.
I can do them in 1 hour if I like. Not July YSP, but if it's a blog, one blog that I've been working on and I have structured, then I can really focus and get that done.
Right. I do tend to do those things. It's like, but I want to do a lot of something. So it's like, okay, I'm going to get this done in this amount of time. So isn't it crazy the ways we have to trick ourselves into getting things done?
So sometimes I do a lot better just by setting a 1 hour timer, saying, what can I get done?
Yeah. And she literally does do the timer thing because I ask her, can you remind me?
Like,
she's
I can't do that right now. Remind me in 30 minutes. I'm like, knock, 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 knock. It's been 31 minutes.
I'm like, God, that was the fastest 30. Are you really? I mean, like I could set my own timer, but I don't, and I won't. So anyway, she did. And she was like, okay. I was like, give me another 30 minutes. Sorry.
So I'm
I'm
like,
not done with this. I'm not done with this eat the frog thing. So I cannot move on to that. So yeah.
All right.
Terrible. All right.
Thank you,
y'all.
everybody.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. It'll be June.
It will be June.
Bye.
Bye.